What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I'm going to be talking about the one and only SPY and also for NIO and break down why on earth the market could actually cause NIO to short squeeze going into the future. Now before I break anything down about this, before I get into any more details, I do have to mention a couple of things about why this is very possible, why it could happen this year, and why this could actually help NIO pump up. But first I want to mention that I'm not a financial planner. Make sure you take none of this as financial advice whatsoever. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire NEO community as a whole. And the last things, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link down below and into the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you're guaranteed up to 12 free stocks, each worth up to $3,000, and any could be a free NEO share. It's a limited time offer. The offer ends in just 1 week. Check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. SPY is up 0.39% for the day, at least as of for Thursday. Now the real question is, what's going to happen to the markets? Well, one thing that concerns a lot of people would be this possible head and shoulders that's developing on SPY. This right here could be like a left shoulder. This right here could be a head, and then this could be the right shoulder that's forming. Is this going to play out? I don't really know. Maybe it plays out, maybe it doesn't. We'll have to find out over the next week or two. But if it does play out, what if this does play out? One level we have to watch for is if the market does tank, could we hold the 200 weekly EMA around this like 364 level? If we break that, then we're going to crash to new lows. We're going to break the October lows. If we manage to hold above this, then it's likely not going to happen. But let's just say this does happen. Let's just say, hypothetically, there is a market crash that happens when people least expect it. What if that actually plays out? How could this affect NEO? And what I want you guys to notice is how right here, back in like August, when the market had this big rally, we had this crazy crash, and we had a big recovery all within a couple of months, right? All within 5 months. In 5 months, we had this crazy rally, huge crash, and then a big recovery very, very quickly. And we might see the next few months look something like that if this head and shoulders plays out. So hypothetically, let's just say this does play out. Let's just say SPY fails to break the February highs, and we see the overall market and also the QQQ end up just tanking from this point. Maybe the banking crisis, the earnings recession, the recession in itself, unemployment going up, the contraction, the economy, all these things cause the market to actually fall and fall and fall. What if this happens? An important level is going to be 377 to 380 on SPY. We need to hold that. If we fail to hold that, we're going to retest the 200 weekly EMA. We have to hold like 364 or so. It might be a little bit lower though if the market drops more. And then if that fails, then the new lows could come. By the time we get to like summer, we might see something like this. Why? Once again, the banking crisis, the recession, right? The market has never bottomed before a recession. There are many signs that the recession is just starting. The PMI reports are suggesting that we're entering a recession. Unemployment is going up. Businesses are going to struggle. People are going to suffer. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. And the Fed has to continue to keep rates high because inflation is too hot. So if the market does get a crash like this, if this head and shoulders plays out, this slanted head and shoulders, this neckline right here is kind of like, the neckline overall is like kind of slanted, and we could see this thing drop to these low levels. Well, the first thing you have to remember is that NEO has a tendency of moving with the markets, and if we do crash this quickly, it may just take a couple of months, but then we're likely going to see a big rebound once the Fed pauses, which is probably going to happen around like the June meeting, and then the market's going to shoot up really, really fast, right? I believe something like this could happen, and we just kind of go from there. But it's kind of similar to what happened like right here. Look at how fast the market crashed and recovered. Most of the crash just took a few months. Or even you could even look from like this drop to this recovery. That was pretty quick. Just took a couple of months. So we might see something similar again. We come down, then we get a big short squeeze. How could this affect NIO? If the market crashes, let me just show you what happens to NIO when the market tends to crash. Right here, if you look at the price comparison between NIO and the overall market, the blue line here is SPY. Look at how SPY dropped, NIO dropped. NIO outperformed the market around like June time because of strong deliveries. Then the market tanked, NIO started dropping as well. The market had the second run up. NIO was holding up quite nicely. Then they both crashed together. They both rallied a bit. They both tanked together. They both rallied a bit. NIO then started underperforming a little bit more. They both bounced together and then they started dropping. So that they tend to be very similar. The same could be said about the QQQ. They tend to have lots of similarities. They dropped together. They rallied very similarly. The QQQ started dropping a little earlier than NIO started dropping. It was outperforming during this August period because of very, very strong reports. And then NIO drops with the market, rallies with the market, drops with the market, rallies with the market, drops, rallies a little bit, but NIO starts underperforming, right, during this period right here because of weak earnings and other factors. That's part of why NIO was underperforming. But you could see the market affects NIO. So what's going to happen when the QQQ and SPY tank? You could also look at what's likely going to happen is NIO is going to come down even lower. Unfortunately, I know you don't want to hear that. I know it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. NIO is likely going to get dragged down to these new low levels, unfortunately, that we haven't seen for a while. If the market crashes, NIO is going to likely come down back to the 8s, going into the 7s, or even lower than that, unfortunately. The chart is still not looking the best. It still is down quite a bit. However, this is great news because this is going to be a very, very good buying opportunity that's coming. You can look at some more gaps down here and other really important levels if you want. Compared to where NIO's all-time high was, NIO has this gap down here. I remember seeing a couple of them. I think I mentioned this on the channel before. We have another gap down here around the 7.7 area. I'm just going to mark this. There's this gap way down here in the 7.8 area. And a very important support is 6.5. We also have 7.2 if 8 doesn't hold. But the strongest support is 6.5. Could we drop that low? I mean, it is a possibility if we get a huge crash in the markets. All right, guys, I want to warn you all about this as soon as possible. But then people are probably thinking, where's the short squeeze? What am I talking about? It's not the end of the world. Because when NIO continues to drop, this will bring in a really good opportunity. I don't know how low she's going to go. Like I said, we could retest the 8s. If that fails, then the 7s could come. 6.5 is very strong support. It's actually major support. If we fail at 7.5, then we could come down there. But the 7s or 6s could come for NIO if the market crashes, right? Not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world because it's a very good buying opportunity. A super good buying opportunity. Because what happens after the big crash? Everyone's panicking. They start selling down here. Then the market's going to get a crazy recovery, rally, and just a few months afterwards. Right? This is a crazy market. It's very manipulated. They're going to squeeze the market after that. And during that rally, when the market gets a rally like this, or like this, NIO is going to hold up. Look at this rally. NIO got a nice push up. Look at this rally. NIO pushed up a little bit more. It's going to rally. NIO is going to rally to $10, get up to $12, maybe even the 15s, a few months after the crash. So if the market does crash, I don't know when it's going to crash, if it's a few months or now, or a few months from now, or maybe very soon. If the market crashes, NIO is going to come down. Sure. Maybe it goes to 6s or 7s. Who knows? But then, by the time we get to June, July, August, that is the opportunity because NIO is going to double or triple in just a couple of months because there's going to be a huge squeeze in the markets. NIO is going to make it back above 10, 11, 12, 15. And remember, I was talking about this thing potentially coming to the sevens. It's going to double in just a couple of months. It's going to go back to the 20s after many more months. And then in a year or a couple of years from now, it's going to be back to all-time highs. I do believe NIO will break all-time highs. It's going to be another good buying opportunity. Why? Why is it going to squeeze? Because shorts are piling in. When too many shorts pile in, it's going to become more expensive to borrow or short NIO on a daily basis. And then the shorts could start covering during big drops in the market and also during big recoveries, which means, yes, NIO could come down. It could come down in the future during a market crash. During a market recovery, it's going to squeeze and break 10, 11, 12, much higher levels, and crazy money could be made if people know what they're doing. This will be a very good buying opportunity if the market does crash, but I want to warn everyone in advance about this potential opportunity for NIO to squeeze and make some very big moves. All right, so thank you all for listening. Have a great day. Remain calm, cool, and collected. I'll see you guys in the next one. NIO to the moon because the long term is still very bright, and peace out.